All right, welcome back. So I'm in the shop, and definitely not a jet, but it goes in a jet. So I'm out here working on a customer's motor today, and got me thinking about a couple things that I wanted to kind of talk about. So, and I get it, a lot of people, they just find it easier to talk to somebody and ask a question. But a lot of things that I get, probably 80% of the time, questions are things that are in the manual. And the manual is with the motor, which people don't even realize a lot of times. But the card in there is also a thumb drive. And if you don't have a thumb drive on these newer computers, it's also readily available on the Zyco's website. So, and I'm seeing a lot of things that shouldn't be an issue that are, one, because there's a lot of inexperience getting in the hobby, but even the guys that love to tell you that they've been around turbines forever and have lots of turbines are making very simple errors that could be avoided if they just knew their motor like they should. And that, in my opinion, is what the turbine waiver should be about, is you knowing how to safely operate and adjust and do the things that you need to operate the motor. Flight test is irrelevant because you can put an EDF in a jet that you can put a turbine in, and you don't require a turbine waiver. So I think that's a bad choice. But that's what some places people like to do. They want to see how well you can fly. Well, that's irrelevant, really. But anyways, so do yourself a favor. Take some time to familiarize yourself with your motor. Like, go through the screens, because I get guys that are like, I can't get my motor to start. I'm like, and they always want to blame the motor. Always. And I'm like, well, it could be something wrong, but 70-80% of the time, it's not the motor. It's something simple that could have been dealt with if you just knew what was going on in things. So people are kind of used to motors just working out of the box, and a lot of times they do, but motors may require a little tweaking. Like the factory will set things like the glow igniter at the lowest possible setting they can to get reliable starts for their conditions. So, which is usually a little low, and I've told a lot of people that just bump up the glow igniter, and that kind of fixes the start issues. The problem with that is people wait too late, and they do tons of try to start it, keep trying to start it, and they finally get to light. Well, then the next flight, it's 3 or 4 attempts before it starts, and I'm like, you're just making the issue worse by doing that, because you're coating the igniter, it's not going to burn off, and it's just going to make the issue worse. But what I'm seeing is people don't know how to go and look at their battery voltage during the start, and then they will say, well, I've got a brand new battery on here and it's fully charged, so it can't be that. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, just do me a favor and page over and tell me what you see during the start. And I've repeatedly seen batteries drop well below what they should be for starting. And these things take a lot, during a start. 10 plus amps easy in a start. And you'll watch people's batteries, it's just not good enough a battery. And especially after they get some time on the battery, they just won't start for damn on that battery. So you need a high C rating battery, period. And if you would have just upped glow igniter a couple points of a voltage from the get-go, or from the first time you failed, it would have been fine and it wouldn't have had any issues. So just remember that, if something's not right, if it doesn't work, kind of check to see if it might be something you can do. And then if it's not, then by all means, give me a call. And I don't mind helping people. That's my job. And I will do it and I enjoy it. But when it's things that you should know, like how to do a throttle learn, or hey, I'm getting a little bit of too much of a flame during the start, little things like that, you should know how to deal with those, especially if you have a turbine waiver. And if you have a question after you look something up, go for it. Give me a shout. But, my time is worth something just like yours is. And it consumes my time. And it makes it hard to do this or do this because I'm too busy answering the same repetitive questions that could easily be answered if you just open the manual and look. But anyways, yeah, so, things like start issues, the first thing you should check is the battery. Because if it's running fine and all of a sudden it just starts doing that, something has changed. And a battery that may be good, lipos suck. I ain't gonna tell you. Lipos suck. Like 1 minute they will work just fine. Next minute they are just like, they just don't have the juice they need. I don't care if you talk, what battery. Like I end up using the cheap batteries. Cheap batteries, lipos seem to work way better than like your expensive name brand stuff. Like I stopped buying the daggum, what's the green batteries? Whatever, the ones that everybody buys. I quit buying them because they just sucked. So, and I don't fast charge mine. I charge mine at well below what you can. I take care of them, and lipos just suck. It's just a horrible battery. Yeah, it works great and gives you this great output to a point, but they just don't last. And they're all made in the same place. They just come up with the C rating and milliamp based off of how well the pack test when they pull it off the line. Oh, that handles 20C, okay. Oh, that one's gonna 40, wow, okay. But it's the same stuff, so anyways. But yeah. But like I said, if you read and you still can't figure it out, give me a shout, but asking me oil questions, which is the endless debate, the manual says how much you should use and which is recommended. Plain and simple. Now, if you got something that you aren't sure of, like, hey, can I use this oil? You should better just contact the factory because I don't know. I don't know enough about oils. I follow the manual and I start telling people, hey, follow the manual. Will other things work? Absolutely. Will different percentages work? Absolutely. But again, those percentages are in there for a reason. So, but that's all I'm going to say about that. So this one is not reading temperature. So the temp probe is, hopefully it's just the temp probe is bad. So I am going to shut up now. That's my rant. Just help me help you. Take a minute to familiarize yourself with what your motor has as far as settings and what you can adjust, what you should adjust. The manual is really good, but it is written with a little bit of a language barrier. So if you have questions, feel free to ask, but don't just contact me without ever looking at your manual. I mean, that's just how it should be. I'm not here for that purpose. Yes, it comes with the job, but you could have missed a flying day by trying to get a hold of me on a Saturday when you could have fixed it and been flying in 2 minutes. So just remember that. And call me grumpy. I don't care. It's just, you do this enough, after a few years now, and it's like the same stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. I get it. I do the same thing, but still, you know, I always try to find the answer myself before I elevate to that. So, anyways, you guys have a good one. I'm gonna get this done, and then I'm gonna maybe work on the F-22 again. So you guys have a good night, and would say keep it greasy side down, but no, we don't do that. Cheers.